傲风 M6 旗舰 Pro 按摩追背小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，硬地机械臂。
biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解，任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”。这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Americas a couple of hours ago, and now we are back with WTL World Team League 2024 Summer Codes Round 9, day number 3. I'm, of course, SI VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat as well. Welcome to another day of WTL. And today is a little bit different, a little bit special. Of course, this event, this broadcast did occur on Sunday, did occur 2 days ago, or just under 2 days ago at this point. And we were there, we were casting, and if you recall, our internet was not the most stable, and we disconnected twice. We disconnected 2 times trying to cast this series. We weren't able to, and after the second time, I was like, it's not working out. it's clearly not working out, Bappy. So alas, we did stop broadcasting, and we missed out on this best of 7, so we're jumping in here and now, and in the bottom left-hand corner we have Maru for Team Vitality. In the top right we have Rainer for Basilisk. Let's go. For the format of the tournament, if you're maybe tuning in for the first time, it is a best of 7 Team League match between Team Vitality and a Basilisk. Technically Basilisk, or Big Basilisk, Basilisk plus Showtime, if you will. They have partnered together here to bring you one of the best teams out there in the world. And now we're facing off here in this initial best of 2. It's going to be Maru versus Rainer, followed by Ryung versus Serral, and Showtime versus Solar. Oh boy. Again, Team Vitality, they are the reigning champions. They are last season's champions of the WTL. Basilisk, I think they got top 3. They got top 3 last season, so they are some of the best teams in StarCraft. Now they're going to be facing off here and now in the round-robin group stage. We're here in round 9, only 2 more weeks to go. 11 rounds in the round-robin group stage in total. Next week, or this week actually coming up, is round 10. Next week is round 11, and then bam, the playoffs. So we're running out of time. We're running out of matches. Standings are kind of nearing the end, or their finalization period at this point, and we want as best standings as we can get coming into the playoffs. Now, coming into this, Maru is going to be opening up 2-Rack Reaper. 2-Rack Reaper here out of Maru. Of course, very fond of it, as many Terrans are. Has been coming back into the meta, back into the swing of things, especially post-IM Katowice. Took a bit of a lull, took a bit of a hiatus. This build, I should say, was very popular last year, then took a break, but now it is back. And our Reapers are going to be on the way. The purpose of this opener here from Maru is, of course, to contain the Zerg player on 2 bases, to delay the 3rd base, to make sure we get eyes on the drone and the would-be 3rd as well, make sure we get on top of Rainer. We'll see if we can. Reapers are moving out. Meanwhile, Rainer going hatch gas pull. Standard opener from the side of Rainer. Drone moves out for the 3rd base as well, triangular location. 3rd is being taken, and now the pressure is on Maru to try and deny this. For now, going to be dipping towards the natural, dancing with the army, going for the drones. Drones are going to be getting low. Lings do pop out in time, and the one worker does morph into a spore, and we will save, at least initially, our first drone. So far, so good. Behind this, Maru is making an extra pair of Reapers. getting up to, I believe, 4 Reapers in total. Dips into the main, doesn't quite get any workers yet, is going to be forced out. It hits the third base, but again, the third has a lot of progression already, and there's that much more pressure on Maru to try to force the cancel. Again, we have the extra wave of Reapers on the way. It looks like it's going to be 5 Reapers in total, but yeah, the Queens are waddling over. Lings are on the high ground as well. We do deny the Reapers. Oh, yeah, they're going to be forced back. The Reapers are getting low, and Raynor, he's defending the third. Raynor, he is defending the third base. We are getting some extra hits in, though, but alas, the Reapers are going to be forced back. And now we have to transition. Back at home, you can see on the production tab, Maru does have a third CC on the way, so he's getting into a 3CC 2-1-1. Very economic follow-up. But what I will say here is that after the early game, Raynor is looking much better. He's in a much better position here just because these Reapers did not get enough damage done. These Reapers, their goal here was to either deny the third, delay the third base, or get some drone kills, catch a queen, anything of the sort. Alas, we haven't really gotten much at all. So far, the defense from Raynor has been on point. Meanwhile, we do see Maru dipping in. Oh, getting behind the mineral line. Lings are in position. Ling speed kicks in as well. Yeah, we have Ling speed, and that's going to be a one-way trip for these Reapers. We do manage to get into the main base, and again, you can see we're trading as best we can. We get 1 drone kill. 1 drone goes down, but just the 1 worker. And with that, Raynor does defend. Back at home, Maru's transition. You can see the trades here. 5 Reapers for 1 drone and 2 Lings. Ay, ay, ay. Not the best trades here from Maru. But he's settling into his 2-1-1. His 3CC 2-1-1. He's got his 3rd CC up and running. Lings, they move out, but we should be able to protect the stim. Stim is a little bit vulnerable, but we have plenty of Marines already up and running, and the Lings can't really threaten it too much. Earthlord Scout comes in, and Raynor will confirm the build of choice. Does confirm the timing of the 3rd CC, timing of the factory, timing of the starport as well. So Raynor knows that he's safe to drone. He knows he's safe to drone until medevacs hit the field. Then, of course, that's when we start to embrace more Lingbane roach play, focus on our army. Until then, we can drone up as hard as we can and spread as much creep as we can as well. The other downside of this kind of opener from the side of Maru is because of the build of choice, no Hellions, right? There's no Hellions on the map, there's no Hellions being active on the field, so we can't really contest the creep here of Raynor. He's going to be able to spread quite freely, and is going to be able to, yeah, assert himself here, at least in the early game of Alkion. We still need a Marine plushie. I do have a Marine plushie, Werehog. I do have it. We just need to take a new photo. I need to take a new photo with all the plushies, papi. All the plushies. Ah, smooch. One day, papi. One day. We need an SCV plushie. That's all we need. Give us the SCV. Until then, Maru is moving out. Raynor had control of the Zelnaga, is aware of what's coming his way. Lings are in production as we speak. The Queens move forward, and as long as our transfuses are on point, we should be okay. The Queens are getting low. We do transfuse. Yeah, we keep them topped up, and Maru is forced back. So Raynor, he does deflect the initial drop. See, Maru rotates over towards the 4th base. Now Raynor is free to drone. He's droning up, taking up into Evo chambers, into our upgrades. Bathing nest as well for bathing speed. And Raynor looking quite comfortable. Hello, drone. Random drone does rock back up as well. Do love to see it. Again, Maru's just trying to be active, trying to clear up some creep. For the most part, we are minimizing losses. The drop is going to be threatening the main, and you can see Raynor's army having a hard time rotating over. The choke point outside the 3rd is a little bit brutal. But he does get here in time, has a spore in position, Queens as well, and oh, the double drop is going to be locked down. Ah, the Papi plushie. Ah, Papi. You're an animal. Este peco esta. Calm down, Papi. Calm down. The drop is going to try to skirt around towards the natural, but again, for the most part, there's only the 1 double drop out here, so Raynor can focus his attention, can, of course, pick it away. Pick it away. Drive it away. Force it back. Raynor even take this opportunity to take into Infestation Pit. That's a fast pit. This could be for the beginning of Lingbane into Ultra, as we are rushing into a hive, and there's no Hydrogen yet. Bear that in mind. If we had a Hydrogen, then we could assume that it's going to be... Oh, as a drone, it's going to be knocked out. But if we had a Hydrogen, then we could assume that it was going to be a setup into Lurkers. But now just Lingbane into the Infestation Pit. Creepers are being cleared up. And Maru is in position to deny the base. Even though his initial double drop didn't get much damage, at least the double drop survived. Now we can consolidate our army. We deny the gold at the same time. A massive link counter-attack here at the third. Yeah, we do get across the map. The wall is wide open. There were deepers, yes, but alas, we did manage to sneak in. SCV's going to be going down. Reinforcements being caught out as well. Nice use of the SCVs here. Nice hold position micro as well. But the links are still getting damage done. At the same time, Maru has to push in. This move out was designed to deny a base, but now we have to go even further than that. Tanks getting a lot of shots off. Queens holding their own. Bailing speed not yet done. And you can see that with the whole position micro, we do defend against the Lings. As I say that, we do... Oh, pull back. Lings racing back home. We can set up for a surround. Bailing speed finishing up just now. And we can collapse in. Yeah, we get on top of the tanks. Bailing's roll forward as well. Is off of creep, but not enough Marines. Not enough bio here to protect the tanks. And we will clean this up. Yeah, tanks are going down. Maru does save most of the Marines. He saves most of the bio, but he lost the backbone of his army. And now he can't really threaten the bases. So Raynor takes an economic lead. Going to be able to spread his creep, maintain himself. And Maru has to back off, lick his wounds, try to stabilize here on 3 bases, take the 4th as well, and take a more turtle approach. The drops are still active, don't get me wrong. Outside of that, is going to be stuck at home. As Maru does try to sneak back in, and no extra creep tumors. Going for the mineral line. We get a couple of workers, but there was Ling main in position. We force the pickup. Dropping towards the main. And in the main base, we're a little bit bare bones. Not much to defend. But Lings are responding. Yeah, they do get here in time. Meanwhile, the hive is done. Vipers are on the way. That's going to be a great way to help add some splash damage. I should say add some anti-air. Ooh. As a full medevac goes down to the Spore. But that's what we have to rely upon here to deal with these drops, is those abductions, those parasitic bombs, the Vipers. They're on the way. Vipers are on the way. At the same time, double drop on the left-hand side is going to deny a hatchery. We do deny the 6th. Pushing towards the 5th base as well. Ling bait is ready. It's in position at the same time. Another Ling run by. And we catch out on the tank. We have some mine shots going off. We do get both tanks and the SCVs. Oof. Even some friendly fire. 8 SCVs going to be going down. Once again, not a bad Ling run by. And for the second time, Maru not quite ready for that counterattack. Does not walled off that ramp. Now, based on the army on the right-hand side, I'm pretty sure Maru just assumed that he would be in position to catch any Ling run-bys, but gets caught out. He's got to be a little bit more attentive here, and he will find... Oh, does he? Yeah, he does find the Bailings. Maru will knock them down. Back across the map. Raynor's still just amassing up more Ling Bane. The drops for the most part have been dealt with. Mindrill coming in, though. Trading well against the Bailings. Does trade well against the Bailings. You can see Maru pushing on the right-hand side, but once again, a big Ling counterattack, and Maru not in position. Again, Maru's army is across the map. And once again, SCV is going to be going down, and this time, not just in the 3rd base, but at the natural as well. And in the main! Yeah, the wall's not a wall. Lings in every single base, the 3rd, the natural, the main base as well. SCVs are going down left and right, and Maru races back home. Yeah, he races all the way back. He does not commit on the right-hand side. Tanks are still falling. Planetary should hold its own. We'll clean up these Lings. But we are camping the main base. Meanwhile, across the map, Mindrill coming back in and getting 12 workers. Not insignificant. That is a good amount of damage. The problem is Maru's losing that much more. That many more SCVs are going down. As mine drops do continue. Oh. At the same time, Raynor, he wants a planetary. Can he get it? Does he have enough? Yeah, the blinding cloud. The boys are being pulled away. Massive connections. The Bailings, they crash in. 46 SCVs going down. The planetary as well. And Raynor, he's pulling Maru apart, just punishing that ramp, essentially leading to the 3rd base time and time again. And just forcing Maru to be desperate, forcing his move out, catching him off guard, catching him out of position. Raynor is all over this. Back in the main base, Raynor, he did borrow some Lings. Now we go through the burrow, catch more SCVs. Looks like Maru, he's going for the gold. That is a way to try to recover and try to bounce back. Oof. Decent mine connection. But the gold will be the only way, really. As we have Ultras on the way. Spoke about it earlier. Lingbane into Ultra. I guess Lingbane Viper into Ultra from the side of Raynor. He's embracing that Swarm style. Maru's still being active, going for a split push. He's got a force on the left, force on the right, going for the gold. Does force a cancel. Does force a cancel. The problem here, though, is that Raynor's maxed out. He's maxed out and he's getting ready for a push. These... Oh, no! I was going to say these drops need to get damage done, but the Burrowed Bailings. Oh, my God. Brutal connections. The drop gets shut down, and here come the Ultras. Raynor sending everything across the map. Parasitic bombs. GG gets called, and Raynor will take game number 1. GG. Raynor will pop off here with a lead. No cams, unfortunately. Usually in a situation like this where neither player has a webcam, it is typically because they played ahead of time and they played via replays. So for whatever reason, Maru and Raynor, either both of them or one of them wasn't available to play live. So they did play out their games ahead of time. Maru just realized he's got 1,003 ELO. It's crazy. We're jumping back in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have Maru for Team Vitality. In the top right, we have Raynor for Basilisk. Whew. And a very intense, very spicy game 1 there out of Raynor again. Able to gain momentum with those Link Realm Buys. Not just that, but if you remember, winding it back a little bit, the 2x Reaper opener of Maru was a little bit lackluster. Did not do a lot of damage. It did put a lot of pressure on Maru to follow it up with drop play, but the drops likewise, Raynor was able to keep up time and time again with all the drop play. And alas, was able to catch Maru off guard a couple too many times with those Ling run bys. Meanwhile, back at home, as we settle into our next game, Raynor is going 15-15. 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool. This is a very safe opener out of Raynor. Raynor was actually very fond of this build, especially in 2023. It was like exclusively what he went for against Zerg, Protoss, and Terran. Would rely quite heavily on the 15-15. Since then, we have been able to vary things up, and we've kind of broken out of that mold. But we're going back into it here just to play safe on Ghost River, which makes sense. Makes plenty of sense. Reasoning why, of course, is coming into this. We do see that Ghost River is a very small map. It's the smallest map in the map pool, has a very short rush distance as well. So it does make sense if you're a little bit afraid that your opponent would open up 2x Reaper again. We can see there's not 2x Reaper, there's no aggression, there's no proxy, there's no crazy opener out of Maru, so Raynor just playing safe, not really going to pay off here, but again, just willing to play safe nonetheless against Maru. So Everlord does dip in, does confirm the timing of the CC, does confirm no Raxes on the low ground, so Raynor is aware of the standard opener. We go. As we do settle into a much more standard setup here between our players. And we'll see how Maru decides to bounce back again down in this series. I'm pretty sure Maru has the highest ELO in WTL. I think it's higher than Serral. I know it was higher than Serral last season. This season, we'll have to keep an eye out for it. As we'll be casting Serral later on in the day. So we'll compare the ELOs. I wouldn't be surprised if Serral's ELO is lower just because he doesn't play as much. As a reminder, Serral was less active this season and this year in general because of military service. So because he doesn't have every weekend free, he's not able to compete and participate every single week in WTL. So because that, he has been less active. Meanwhile, Lings, they get across the map. They will delay the CC. Command Center going to be delayed for a couple of seconds. We also managed to get a scout into the main. It is going to be a 3cc build here out of Maru. It is going to be economic, and Raynor, for the most part, he confirmed. So Raynor, he should be aware that he's free to join. He is going to be free to join up. Across the map, Raynor, he does keep up with the Reaper harass. Third base is quite delayed here for Raynor. Again, part of it is because of the 15-15, because of the opener, and also because of the map itself. Ghost River only has one third base as an option, so if the Reaper is at 1/3, you don't have the option to pivot away and go for another third base as you would on another map, like Site Delta, for example. So it is easy to contain, and as a result, this third base is quite late here for Raynor. It is quite late. Meanwhile, Roach Warren has been thrown down. Raynor flexing his Ling Bane in game 1 and now going for Roaches in game 2. Reaper does dip in, doesn't quite get the drone, almost. Gasito. Joe does morph into the Spore, Reaper gets shut down, we get a full scout. Now the Reaper does confirm the fast lair. Again, this is 4 minutes, the lair was already being researched very early lair timing, so I think Maru didn't see the Roach Warren, but he knows that something is wrong, and something is up. So these Hellions have that much more onus to check and scout the natural. We'll see if they do. For now, they're checking the third base. We'll keep an eye on the saturation here of Raynor. As the Hellions, they dip into the natural base, and they will get eyes on the Roach Warren. So now, for the most part, Maru is aware of what's going on. Technically, it could be like 2-base Muta or something crazy like that, but yeah, the Roaches are confirmed. As Raynor is investing. And he's only making a handful of Roaches. Again, we have the Evo Chamber. We should be droning and working on upgrades from here. We have Roaches initially, but we'll see if Raynor commits. Does make 6 Roaches. Does make 8 Roaches. As my eyes are on Raynor, and he's making more. Let's go! Raynor's making more Roaches. Yeah, he's massing up pure Roach. Raynor setting up for an all-in. And this also makes sense. We spoke earlier about how small the map is, how small Ghost River is, so it goes both ways. Aggression from Terran, aggression from Zerg are favored. We have Overlord Speed on the way. That's going to be for Droplord, so it's going to be a variation of German Taxi, so we can send the Queens across the map as well. It's going to be a Roach Queen all-in with Droplords. As Raynor has not made a drone in quite some time, and Maru, for the time being, is in the dark. I mean, I say he's in the dark. He knows that something is a little bit wrong just because of the fast lair. Like, the fast lair is a tip-off here that it's not a standard Roach opener, for example. Keeping an eye on things so far. I'm loving the Ravager morph. Does wall off the ramp. Double drop on the right-hand side. Maru is going to be threatening a drop here towards the third base. Roaches are keeping up. Raynor's in position. Are gonna stim in. Getting a tumor. Catch a tumor. Pivoting away. And Raynor, he's just pushing across the map. The army is spotted. But does Maru have enough to defend? Remember, he did open up economically. We have bunkers on the way, but the bunkers in already. And we need a little bit more time. Bunkers are still setting up. Queen's gonna be dropped in. The drops do race back home. And we can at least knock down these depots. And as you can see on the production tab, Raynor, he's droning. Raynor, he's containing Maru here on 2 bases, and he is droning up. As the first 2 depots going to be going down, bunkers do finish in time. Boys have been pulled. And with the help of these 2 tanks, with the help of these bunkers, it looks like Maru, he will hold. And Raynor respects that. Does respect the position. He won't try to force it. He doesn't really like his chances pushing into this congested natural base. I don't blame him. So he's going to be spreading creep and droning as best as possible. Miles. Oh. And we barely don't have enough to knock down that bunker. Barely. But we are forcing SCVs to stay off the mineral line. Hellion run by does manage to get past. Raynor does spot it, he does react, he does respond. Roaches, they race back home. And the Hellions, they aren't going to see much. They're going to see anything. Hellions are shut down. Maru going for more drop play, salvaging the bunkers as well. He does confirm that the Roaches are not across the map. They're back home, so he breaks out. It's a bit of a risky move here from Maru. He does a breakout. Double drop gets into the natural. Roaches are in position. So he's free to clear up all this creep and to re-expand. I'm loving these moves out of Raynor. Again, something that Eric popularized a couple of years ago. Going for the drop lords just to spread creep and having the queens to spread even further with the tumors. It's been a while. It was after that where Cyril started doing it as well. Then popularized it even more. Did happen. It's a great way to just force out scans in this kind of game state. They even get creep up and running. You can see that Raynor, he's trying to pivot away from Roach Ravager. We have Ling Speed on the way, Ling Speed and a Baneliness. So we're trying to work towards Ling Bane. We're trying to get out of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, as Roach Ravager does not scale well into the mid game. It just doesn't scale too well here in a longer back and forth. The army is subpar. So we need some time to actually get into something a little bit more efficient. Meanwhile, infestors are in production. That will help support the army, will help us survive. Roach Ravager lacks a little splash damage, so Fungals will help with that. As Raynor is maxed out. Bearing in mind, though, he's maxed out with a subpar army. Again, the soup does lie. Especially when roaches are involved. So Raynor, there's a bit of a dance going on right now where Raynor, he wants to get rid of some of the Roach Ravager to free up supply for Ling Bane. And we have to kind of like have a slow transition here. As we get out of this army and into another. If we lose too much too quickly, we can just die. And on top of that, we also don't want to be stuck with this kind of maxed out army either when Maru moves out. It's a fine line that you have to cross here. As Maru is pushing through the center of the map. Raynor, he's distracted by the drops. And Raynor's being kept busy. Tanks are moving forward. Raynor trying to get in position. Does have the infestors. Tank's going to be sieging. And we do bile down the first tank. First tank is biled. Bleed out some lings. No Baileys to work with. Ultras are on the way. We need more time. Nice Fungal. Fungal does connect to decent biles as well. The tank line is looking solid, but we still have to work our way up the ramp. As Raynor, he's up against the wall. Maru trying to wedge himself in between the natural and the third. You see Raynor trying to set up a surround. Pushing forward once again. Good Fungals, but the Roach Ravager, oof. Big tank volleys going off. Yeah, the Roach Ravager just melts. We're pushing forward towards the third base. Another big Fungal. But where's the follow-up? Where's the follow-up here on the Fungals? Just not enough here on the ground. Ultras are popping. Roaches from behind. Maru does respond. Catches out the Roaches. And that's still 4 tanks here with the main army. And Maru, he just keeps pushing in. No fear. He takes down the third. Third hatchery goes down. Raynor being forced further and further back into his own natural base. Ultras have arrived, but kind of splitting did just finish. But we just don't have enough here. Another Fungal does graze the army, but the tanks are doing so much damage in the back line. Massive volleys going off. The Ultra goes down. And there's almost nothing left. There's almost nothing left here for Raynor. Maru, he is breaking through. Ultras will come in from behind. They can catch out the tanks. But the Marauders, they respond. Yeah, they respond. GG gets called, and Maru will tie things up 1-1. We'll fight back against Raynor. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Maru does bounce back here. Again, it was a really scary start to the game where Raynor had committed to the all-in. He was able to break the third base, contain Maru on 2 bases. That is all true, but we spoke about it. Raynor, he was trying to get out of Roach Ravager, and I thought it was going to be out of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, and he did have a Bailey Nest. I don't know if you noticed, I don't think he morphed in a single Bailing. Raynor was cutting corners, and he was going Ling into Ultra. He had the Bailey Nest, but he was skipping Bailings, trying to go right into Ultra instead. It was a greedy maneuver there for Raynor, and wasn't really able to make use of it. Again, Ultras take a long time to pop out. They take a lot of supply. They require a lot of upgrades as well, and a big investment. And in that moment of vulnerability, Maru pushed in. Maru pushed in. On top of that, that's also where the map comes into play. You saw that it takes seconds for that tank army to get across the map. Like, the tank army was already knocking down the front door of Raynor before it could do anything about it, really. He had seconds to respond and wasn't able to slow down the tank push because there's not much room to work with. There's not much room on Ghost River. Samari, he just went for the kill. And again, Raynor was stuck maxed out on Roaches, which, again, was also killing Raynor as well. That's why we would see some really big Fungals, but there was no Ling Bane to follow up, or no Lings to follow up. It was just Roach Ravager, and Maru, he just took the Fungals to the face. Like, it didn't matter. Like, he just took him to the face. He liked it, Papi. He liked it. He liked the Fungals. You weathered the storm. GG, well played. With that, we have a tied up 1-1 score, and now we're getting ready for our second best of 2. Up next, Ryung versus Serral. Let's go. And a shout out to Optimus in the chat. God, Papi God, thank you so much for subscribing here for 4 months. Gracias, Papi guys. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for all the love as well. Hope you appreciate the content. Hope you appreciate the casting. Hope you appreciate the StarCraft. Hope you do appreciate it as we're getting ready for our next best of 2, another TVZ. Now, as we get into this, of course, Cyril, he is our reigning DreamHack Dallas champion. He is the best player in the world. So, you know, there's some people out there with some weird GOAT lists, but no. Cyril is coming as the heavy favorite. Ryung, though, has his moments, especially in other matchups, is what I will say. Ryung, he's known for being a TVT sniper. If you were here with us last season, you would know that in the finals of the last season of WTL, it was Vitality versus Team Liquid. Clem was popping up, and who could stop Clem? Maru couldn't stop him. Solar couldn't stop him. Ryung could. Like, Ryung, he was dubbed the Clem Crusher, right? He came in and he was able to knock Clem down time and time again in those finals, and that's why Ryung was crowned the MVP of the playoffs, at least last season. But again, he is a TVT specialist when it comes to the other matchups. It is something that he can be good at times, but he has to really rely on his strengths. Something that I will say about Ryung is that he really excels at positional play and map awareness. Because of that, that really does factor in a lot in TVT, and it can factor in TVZ and TVP if we can slow the game down. That's the thing. We saw this a couple of days ago with Ryung versus MaxPax. If you were here last week we casted a lot of Ryung versus MaxPax, and Ryung was holding his own. He was holding his own against MaxPax, especially on Crimson Court. He was able to wall off, he was able to cut the map in half, and try to strip away some of the advantages of his opponent and strip away the multitasking and make it all about positional play instead, and Ryung was able to hold his own. There was one moment, if you remember, where Ryung was caught off guard by Novas. They caught him while he wasn't quite paying attention, massive connections, and then MaxPax just snowballed out of control from there. But that's kind of the game state that Ryung wants here, and I imagine that's what he wants against Cyril as well, to try to get into a longer game where we can kind of like get away of, you know, the multitasking, the harassment, and focus on this kind of late game unit, army control. We'll see if Ryung can get there. We'll see if he can get there. Meanwhile, Cyril, what's terrifying about Cyril, especially modern Cyril, is back in the day, a couple of years ago, Cyril, he was known for being like a macro monster, right? And that's how he would play. He would have like a quote-unquote like way of playing, like this is the correct way to play, and you just macro, you play standard, and you just win, and you just outperform your opponent. But over the past couple of years, like 2022 onwards, we have our cams. we have our cameras, papi. Let's go. We have Ryung with the iPhone POV. Let's go with the black bars. Love to see it. And we've got Cyril, of course, in his traditional room with his trophies behind him, the trophy case next to him, and the trophies, they spilled out of the trophy case, so they're just straight up behind him on his head as well. So many trophies, papi. Too many. But we are jumping in and spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have Ryung for Team Vitality. In the top right, we have Cyril for Basilisk. Let's go. Just like Lights holding his own against Asher, bro. True. Kappa. Ay. No, see, it's the other way around, papi. It's the other way around. Smooch. But now we're going to be calming things down. Settling into Ghost River maps in game number 1. This is going to be an interesting one. I mean, we saw the power of Ghost River earlier, how aggressive you can be on this map. But Ghost River is a map of extremes. It's either extreme aggression, which can be favored, or extreme late game, as you can slow the game down. Something about this map is that there are a lot of choke points. There are a lot of choke points on this map, and as a Terran player as well, you can make use of them. You can fortify yourself, you can defend, you can try to turtle up, and try to force a longer game. What I will say though is that we have seen Cyril on this map before, against players like Bjorn, against players like Clem, and Cyril looks like a beast here on Ghost River. I'll always remember when he played, it was like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, in WTL. I can't quite recall the match, the opponent itself, but Serral, he was applying so much pressure, and Serral was so quick, so fast to expand and take the Terran's bases, even before he took his own. I'm referring to the base on the center left-hand side of the map, where Serral would very quickly, cheekily take that base, and if it does finish, if it does get up and running, then Serral is just in your face the entire time. It's crazy. It's a crazy setup, man. Did leave an impression. For now, we are going to be calming things down. And getting into our openers. It's going to be Hatch Gas Pool out of Serral. Meanwhile, it's going to be a Rax Expand from the side of Ryung. Moving out with our first Reaper. We are going to be moving out. Divian getting a couple of shots off. And it looks like we are going for a 3cc build here from the side of Ryung. See, back at home, third CC is on the way. So 3cc before Starport, very economic opener. Serral's, his hatchery has been delayed, but we spoke about it before. Again, the third base on this map is usually later for the Zerg player, and it is delayed for a moment, but it finally is taken. Again, the reason why it's a little bit harder to take it on this map is, one, the Reaper gets across the map a lot faster, just because of the rush distance by ground. On top of that, there's only one third base location, so it doesn't take long at all, or it doesn't take much at all for Ryung to just bypass, just kind of go straight for that third base and deny the expansion. In. Yeah. Meanwhile, behind this, it is going to be the Starport follow-up, so it's not going to be a 2-on-1 variation. Serral has made an abundance of lings, though. Yeah, a lot of lings have been made. We did cut workers earlier on. Now we're getting back into droning, but this is a big commitment here out of Serral. We don't often make that many lings this early, and so far, Ryung, he misses it. He misses it. The Hellions, they move out. The Reaper moves out, and Serral is going straight for the mineral line, straight for the natural base, and SCVs are going to go down. And we spoke about this in the lead up to this series, how Serral, there was a time where he was only the macro player, only the standard player, but here he, cheeky move, dips in, 8 SCVs and a mule, and dips out. And we have a Roach Warren follow-up. Oh my god, the aggression continues. The aggression does continue here with that Roach Warren in the back line. Serral droning up, taking another gas. And with that, Ryung, his economy is struggling here. He did open up 3cc, so he's going to be able to recover, but a build that was meant to be economic, now less so. Now he's just recovering here from his losses, trying to stabilize instead of being ahead. Hellions are moving out. We do leave a couple of Hellions back at home this time, just to be safe. Banshees also on the way. Banshees are going to be ideal against Roach aggression. Roach Warren, I believe, is done. Serral working towards the lair. And Serral actually hasn't made any roaches yet. He's droning. Serral is droning up. Overlord goes into the main, does confirm Cloak is being researched, does confirm Stim as well. So we're aware of the Bio, we're aware of the Banshees. And immediately Spores. Yeah, Spores are on the way. Instantly here for Serral. Is going to be ready here for those Banshees. Likewise, Lings didn't commit. We still have an active force. That is a lot of Hellions. I think that's 8, maybe 10 Hellions. So we can definitely threaten the mineral line. Banshees do move out. It's going for the Queen. Yeah, no detection. And one Queen is going to go down. Nice pickup here from Ryung. Overseer does complete. Hellions at the same time threatening a dive. But as the Hellions move out, Roaches, they're popping in. Roaches are just now popping out here for Serral. Is still droning up though, getting up to 3 base saturation. Ryung hasn't really found too much damage yet though. He's only found 1 Queen. Back at home, Ryung just trying to get his third base back up and running as well. Still playing catch up. Ryung still playing catch up. Serral, meanwhile, spreading creep, pushing forward. That's actually a fast infestation bit out of Serral as well. And with that fast pitch, we can either go into faster infestors or just rush into a hive, or both. We have seen swarm hosts be quite successful, specifically on this map. The reasoning for that is because of the location just outside the natural, but against a bio player, we shouldn't be seeing something like swarm hosts. That's not the kind of best use of that infestation. And yeah, there it is. Hive is on the way. Yeah, we're good. Hive is going to be on the way. So we're just rushing into Hive Tech. No Hydrogen, so this could be Ultra play, similar to Raynor if you remember. I mean, I say similar just because if you remember, Raynor in Game 1 went Ling Bane into Viper Ultra. Here it's a little bit different as Serral did invest quite heavily into these Roaches and Ravagers, but with the melee upgrades, Ultras, it looks like they're going to be on the horizon. But I imagine Vipers first. Just for that anti-air, for those parasitic bombs. And abductions. Ryung does threaten the center of the map, clearing up some of the creep. More Lings are amassing, Baneling speed is on the way. Serral keeping up with the drops at the same time, going for a Roach Ravager counterattack. I do appreciate this. We spoke about this earlier in Raynor's series, how we want to get rid of the Roach Ravager. And Raynor was unable to, and he was stuck with them for the entirety of the game, which led to his downfall. But here, Serral, again, he's being a little bit more cavalier, a little bit more brave with them, willing to bleed them off. A couple of roaches at a time. While he maxes out. There it is, 3 Vipers in production. With those Vipers, we can lock down the drop play. Ultra Cavern now on the way as well. So it's going to be Lingbane, Roach Ravager into Ultra. At this point, we are kind of done with the Roach Ravager. And we do want to get rid of it. Lings, they get eyes on the 4th. Ryung has been stuck at home. Has been stuck at home here. We spoke earlier that CranKy would ideally want to try to turtle up and cut the map in half, but again, it was some early game aggression that set him behind earlier, and he's still trying to recover, trying to build up, and Serral is maxed. No, he's maxed out right outside of that 3rd base. Ryung going for a triple drop at the same time. He's vulnerable. He's going to be vulnerable. Serral pushing in. We have a nice concave of tanks, but they get yoinked. Yeah, they get abducted. 3 tanks going to be going down. 4 tanks going to be going down. Pick up 4 tanks, and we get the hell out of here. We do pull back. Ryung does deny an expansion. Does deny the 5th. Not bad. It's 4 base versus 4 base. True. But the tank count was, in a way, reset, and that means that Ryung is going to be that much more vulnerable to a push. Needs to rebuild that tank count, making 2 at a time. But Ultras are on the way. Oh boy. 4 Ultras in production. 2-2. Kindness plating. Serral is still maxed out. Ryung not too far behind, but still working his way up there. We spoke about this base. Serral is now taking one of Ryung's bases on his side of the map. And Ryung, he needs to ensure that this does not get up and running. As it is going to be a launch pad for Serral if he can claim it. Ryung will deny bottom right. We'll cancel a hatchery. I say cancel, I believe that was a kill. Kill in the expansion. Vipers moving in with the Vipers. They get caught out. We get 1, we get 2. Oh my god. We get 2, we get all 3 Vipers. Massive catch here from Ryung, but at the same time, the Lingbane, it crashes into the planetary. SCVs go down. The base as well. Serral may have lost those Vipers. May have lost them, but he's going to get so much more. Yeah, the Ultras, they get on top of the tanks. Tanks go down. 25 SCVs as well. Vipers are being rebuilt. Oh, the Biles! Oof. Biles connect as well. Oh my god. So making the best use of this army. Does pull away. Ryung gets eyes on the expansion, and he should force a cancel. Yeah, the base is going to be forfeit. Hatchery is cancelled. Cyril, he pivots away. Rotating over. We've been killing a lot of tanks, and how many do we have left? Lings are getting into the natural base, catching reinforcements. Ultras, they head towards the tanks. Biles will connect. Tanks are going to be going down. And again, Ryung, he's out on the map. Out of position. Does defend his third. Does force back the Ultras. But Lings, that's a... Oh my god. Okay, not quite a kill in the CC. But we get 25 SCVs. We bust into the main base as well. Burrow is not quite done. That's another denial of bottom right. Lings, they will not take down 3-3, thankfully. As long as we repair. Oh. No, never up! Oh my god. We do repair in time. We save 3-3. But Ryung is down to 3 bases. He's down to 3 bases, down to 40 SCVs. Mules are good, but they're not that good. There is a CC that we can use to claim a backup 4th. We do need it. Meanwhile, Cyril still has map control. Rebuilding those Ultras, has rebuilt those Vipers. Earlier, they went down without really adding too much to the fight or too much to the game. But now they're back in play. And we go for the oinks. Oh my god. Good one, we get both Banshees finally. I mean, shout out to Ryung. Those Banshees were around since the beginning of the game. Did survive this long, but it did finally go down. And Cyril, he's coming in maxed out once again. Power bomb going up. I think we only have 1 tank. Oh, especially with that 1 tank going down. I think that was a bit of friendly fire. Not too certain. There might have been a Ling slipping in. Or a Bile. But I think there's only 1 tank on the high ground. And with only 1 tank, I'm not too sure if we can hold against this. Yeah, we catch a reinforcing tank. Lightning Cloud's going to be thrown down. Ultras collapsing on the main army. Oh god, and the Bailings, they do crash into the bio. Massive connections. And the Ultras are getting out of control. They're getting out of hand. GG gets called, and Cyril will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Cyril in almost full control of that entire game. Was looking quite strong, quite terrifying. It all started, if you remember, with the Ling run by. If you remember, there was an early Ling flood from Cyril, which even caught me off guard. Definitely caught Ryung off guard. As Cyril, he caught workers a little bit earlier on, made a surge of Lings, snuck out across the map. He avoided the Reapers, he avoided the Hellions, and he was able to cripple the economy early on of Ryung, and that set a pace for the game. That did set Ryung behind. Ryung, after that moment, was playing catch-up. He was stuck at home. He was playing scared. And Cyril had almost free reign of the map. There was some drop play. There was that was denying bases. Oh, Ryung, the sleeves! They're coming back up! I need to zoom in on this. Do you see Ryung? Oh, look at him go! He's showing off the biceps, papi. Oh. Let's go. He's unlocking his final form. Ryung. The shirt is coming off. Let's go. His arms, they were turned, Bobby. They were turned. I think I robbed you of that. The Tuna Terran. He's coming out. The ex-military boy. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have Ryung for Vitality. And in the top right, we have a Cyril for Basilisk. Bring out the guns, but exactly. Man with guns. Not even just the one. Oh my god. Ryung, calm down, Bobby. Calm down. But here we go. We are going to be settling in. Here. A lot of the old school Korean players are actually surprisingly athletic. I don't know if you remember, but a lot of the, like, Ryung would often play with a lot of the ex-Kesper players that play, like, soccer or football over the weekend. I remember, like, Flash and a lot of the KT boys would compete and play, and some of the SKT boys as well. There would sometimes be photos posted on social media about that. Alright, let's go. So we are going to be settling in. As Serral is going to be opening up Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener here out of Serral. Meanwhile, Ryung going to be opening up Rax Expand. Ryung is like Psyduck. He needs to be hit before he unlocks his power. Oh. I don't know if that's how Psyduck works. I mean, I think Psyduck, he gets distressed, does he not? Is that not how it works? He gets distressed, he has a bit of a mental break, and then he pops off. I think it's a little bit different, man. A little bit. Let's go. I understand what you mean, though. Este no clue. ¿Qué tal, cómo estás? Now we have +4 attack. Beautiful. Beautiful, man. He gives himself a headache from confusion. Oh, no. I think that's more apt for someone like Patience. I think Patience is more of like an IRL Psyduck. He hurts himself in confusion. Yeah. Oh no. As for now, Ryung is going to be opening up 3CC. That's a third CC in the back line. And hey, we're loading into Crimson Chords. Okay, sorry. So winding it back a little bit. When it comes to the format of the tournament, as a reminder, it is loser's pick. So this is Ryung's map of choice, and this makes sense. If you recall earlier, I was referring to Ryung's series against Max Packs a couple of days ago. I was referring to his series and talking about how he played Crimson Court out. And I feel like the mantra stands true here as well, where Ryung was able to successfully cut the map in half, successfully survive the early to mid game, slow the game down against Max Packs, and have a more late game scenario against him. And I imagine that's going to be the plan here. What I'm referring to on this map, there are a lot of choke points, a lot of defendable bases, the triangular third base, the linear fourth base, the even the other opposite fourth base as well, can be quite difficult to actually gain access to. Just because you have to mine through minerals and break down rocks. Now, Serral does mine through the gold minerals. He takes the linear third base, so Ryung won't be able to do much about it here. Won't be able to dip in. We have seen a lot of Zerg players actually go for all-ins, where they take the third base, as Serral is doing, and because the Terran player cannot scout it, cannot gain access to it, we actually just go for it all in. We cut workers, we go for a Roach Warren, we go for a Bailey Nest, and we just send it across the map of like a 2-base economy. We actually have seen quite a lot of that as well. And Serral is going for a Roach Warren, but he's still droning. Serral is still droning up, so I imagine we're going to be going for a longer game, and this is a safety Roach Warren here. Yeah, we're still droning up. For now. But that is also something that's going to be in the back of Ryung's mind, is, whether or not there even is saturation at that third. And he won't know until he pokes in with the Banshees. As there's going to be 3CC Banshee. Raven is on the way. That I was not expecting. Okay. Raven coming out as well. Banshee does confirm saturation, does confirm we have drones at the third. So Ryung, he can breathe a little bit easier. He can breathe a little bit more freely. 3 minutes into the game. Oh, it's Crimson Court. Yeah, the guns, Papi, the guns. I was mesmerized by the tuna, by Ryung. You can't blame me. Don't lie. You were mesmerized too. You also forgot that it was Crimson Court. Even Serral forgot, Papi. For those who don't know, they are in a Zoom call together. They do see each other. Ay, ay, ay. Is that going to be like another tier, another level of battle now in WTL? The visual one. Gonna try and serenade your opponent. You're gonna serenade even. Oh no. Ryung, keep the shirt on. As for now, we are going to be moving out. Roaches are revealed. They're just for map control. They're just to move out, just for map control here. Serral does secure the center of the map. It does take a fourth base at the center as well, gaining access to the Rich Racing Gas Geyser. does gain access. And we can see that Serral, looks like Roaches were just a stepping stone. So just a safe opener out of Serral with the initial Roaches. Behind this, we have the Baneling Nest on the way. We have Infestation as well. Similarly to the last game, looks like Serral wants to work towards Ling Bane, into Hive Tech, into Vipers, into Ultras. Just kind of the same setup here from Serral. But is investing a little bit harder into these Roaches, as that is an extra wave on the way. As Serral, he's getting fully saturated on 4 bases. He's up to 77, soon to be 78 drones. So solid saturation. Getting into 1-1. Is working towards that 1-1, and Serral, he's done droning. At this point, Serral, he's done droning, and now we can max out. Now we can focus on purely Ling Bane, and we should be hitting that 1-1 timing, as I imagine it's going to be lined up here with the push of Serral. Hive is also on the way. Again, that should be for Vipers, at least initially, into eventually Ultras. Ryung denying some of this creep. Does try to keep Serral at bay. Roach is poking forward. Morlings are still amassing. Vipers are now on the way as well. Here comes Adrenal. Hive is done. Adrenal has begun. And we'll see if Ryung can be ready here in time for this push. But now I appreciate this being active. Throwing up some creep. Catching some tumors. Trading well decently against these Lings. Before being forced to pick up. Forced to get the hell out of there. And Ryung setting up for his own push, actually. Okay, I assumed that he was just going to be looking to receive and expand, take a 4th base, but no. Ryung is moving out. He's looking to move out piles. They take down one of the Hellbats. Tanks are pushing forward. There's still a lot of creep to work through, though. A lot of creep here between both armies, and we catch out the Marines. No splits. We catch out the army. Massive connection, and Marines do go down. And from that, Ryung, we're gonna keep pushing. Okay. We have to keep moving forward. Again, there is a no force CC. While they connect, they bring down a tank. Just 2 tanks left. 2 tanks remaining. Okay, 3rd tank on the way. And Serral, you just have to slow this down, chip away at the army. Viper coming in from behind, going for the blinding clouds. Yeah, we catch the Marines, we catch the tanks. And Serral, he breaks out. Taking down every single tank. And not just the tanks, the bio army as well. Yeah, Serral, he just shuts down this push. Again, it was just a rough start for the push, catching so many Marines early on. Now Ryung, he has almost nothing left. He has the Raven, but not much else. Not much else here for Ryung. GG gets called. Serral, he snowballs out of control, and he wins versus some of the European players. We don't often see them face off. Not an easy thing to do. Not easy. And it's setting up for our 2 players. Let's go. Having looked at ELOs. Again, Showtime has not really competed too often in this in WTL, but oh, let's go! Showtime's going for the Ryung routes. The guns, but I have to zoom in now. Have to. The guns, papi. Let's go. Showtime versus Solar. We are setting up. Game 1 is going to be on Amphion. Take it off. From my understanding, it's summer in Europe. I think it is summer, so it's been getting quite hot and heavy. We are jumping in and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion. We have Solar for Vitality, and in the top left we have Showtime for Basilisk. Here we go. So we are settling in. And Amphion is an interesting one. This is one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, so we don't often see it, but that's why we love WTL, because in World Team League, there are no vetoes. We don't care about your meta, we don't care about your preferences. We force maps whenever we can. And Amphion, of course, is our map of choice. As a reminder, it is loser's pick as well, which is why we see often maps like Dynasty or Post Youth or Ghost River. Maps we otherwise would often see vetoed. And Solar is opening up 15-15, okay. Or at least with our initial 15 hatchery. We do manage to get our base up and running before the probe does arrive. So a nice little start here from Solar. His opener is not disrupted. Getting into his 15 hatch, into 15 spawning pool. Meanwhile, across the map, Showtime going for our gate expand. So standard opener out of Showtime. Bit of a safer opener out of Solar. The downside of Solar's opener is the delayed gas. Gases are delayed, so link speed is going to be later than usual, which means we won't be able to punish the third base anywhere near as quickly if we wanted to assert ourselves with lings. And speaking of the third base, that is one of the features of this map, is the triangular third for both players. Players can mine through those middle patches and expand in that location, and it can be very defendable and very difficult to really punish just because of the high ground, because of the ramp, because of the mineral wall off as well. Can be quite difficult to really apply pressure. Likewise, because there are so many choke points, so many rocks, so many wall offs, something like muta play and spire play is quite common in ZVP in this map. I say common, not unheard of. Like, we see it every now and then. Do see it every now and then. So spire play is viable. Just because we can dance in between the bases and wreak havoc in the mineral lines. So we'll keep an eye on Solar to see what kind of tech he goes into. Meanwhile, Showtime standard opener. It's going to be a gate expand into a Stargate. With a Stargate opener, we should be opening up Oracle. Showtime is typically a pretty standard player. I was talking earlier about how Cyril has kind of broken the mold and now he's willing to be aggressive and more assertive, and that's what makes him more terrifying. Showtime has done that a little bit. He's no longer just like a, macro beast. He does spice things up a little bit, but that's usually in PvP. Like, we've all seen Showtime one base all in many times in PvP, and that's usually where he really shows off his wild side. Against Terran and Zerg, less so. But I guess that's PvP for you. That's like, that's PvP. Oh wow, what can you do? Is it really StarCraft? It's its own game, but for now, Adept going to be throwing a shade. Oracle opener here from Showtime. How's it replay cost with player cams? Oh, we have the replays of everything. It's a replay cost of the clean feed, which does include player cams. Here we go. The Oracle does dip in towards the main. Queen's on the other side in position. We do get one drone so far. One worker does fall. It's an okay start, but the Oracle does take some hull damage. Second Oracle's on the way. Link speed is now kicking in. Showtime does go for the linear third base, not the triangular third. Bear that in mind. Does take the linear instead. Is a little bit more exposed. A little bit more vulnerable. See how Showtime does opt to expand and whether he goes towards the left or right as his fourth. Meanwhile, second Oracle has arrived, getting one more drone. Has some larva as well, not bad. Does get some larva. Link speed kicking in. We confirm the location of the third base. So Solar is aware. And here comes our follow-up. It's going to be a Twilight Council and a Forge. This should be +1 in Blink. +1 in Charge is not unheard of, but I'm not too sure if Showtime's really want to embrace that. Meanwhile, we don't react! No! Late reaction here on a Solar. Massive stasis catches most of the Lings and the Queen as well. Solar a little bit distracted, and Showtime does capitalize. So a much better start. Early on, the Oracles weren't really getting any drone kills. Remember, they only killed 2 workers. But the stasis does make up for that. At the same time, Adepts shade into the third. 2 drones go down. Oh, almost a third. But the Adepts are locked down. Nice defense here from Solar. The Adepts don't get much done. Oracles are still wreaking havoc, dipping in between the bases. Solar going for a safety Roach Warren. Embracing the lair. And I spoke earlier about how it was going to be +1 in Blink. My apologies. It is indeed going to be +1 and Charge. Okay. Showtime going to be taking a more aggressive approach. Now, With this build, there is going to be a timing with charge. There's going to be a timing with +1 in charge, which we can make use of with an initial wave of Archons. I'm assuming we're going to be throwing down the Temple Archives momentarily. So there's going to be a window where Showtime can be in the face of Solar. There's a Gateway Explosions on the way. It's going to be a 6-gate setup so far. There's the Temple Archives. Typically, we would morph in the High Templar as the Prism moves out, as we get into our push. And we'll keep an eye on Showtime. Oracles, they dip back in. They get 4 more drone kills. Very nice damage. Another stasis in the main. Oh my god. Solar having a hard time keeping up, Papi. Aye, aye, aye. And here comes that Prism. Again, the Prism is lined up with the completion of the the Templar Archives. So we can morph in those Archons and go for the kill. So Showtime is building up, getting more warp-ins. Ooh, Solar's going for the Spire. We spoke about this in the early game about how Mutaplay is often seen here, and we're going to be proxying the Spire as well. Oh, he's crazy. So I appreciate the creativity here of going for the proxy Spire, and again, Mutaplay can really pop off, but that's only if we survive. If we survive to Mutaplay, then sure, that's great and all, but Showtime should be hitting first. Showtime is going to be the first to move out, and it's on Solar to survive long enough to actually make use of these mutas. Showtime does maneuver around, does catch some lings. 4th base is being taken. And never mind. So I assumed that Showtime would be moving out with his entire army. He's only using the Warp Prism to harass. He's keeping the Archons and Immortals back at home, which means the Spire will finish. The Spire will finish. Showtime is not going for a timing. He's going for a bit of a longer game. He's going for a bit of a later push instead. And that means that Solar has breathing room, and we can get into the mutas. Okay. There was a window of vulnerability here for Solar, especially with all the stasis traps going off, with all the economic damage being done as well. Like Showtime, he was setting himself up beautifully here for a move out, but alas, not going to be the case. And here come the mutas. And these mutas have a lot of work to do, have a lot of work to be done. I'm sure they will. As the Prism gets across the map, threatens the main, Roaches are keeping up. Prism is deflected. And the mutas. Do we go for the Prism first, or do we just go across the map? What does Solar prioritize? It looks like they're going for the Prism. Oh, no, they don't quite find it. Yeah, they're going across the map. They're going straight for the economy. And we shouldn't be ready for this. There are some cannons on the way. It looks like we may have caught a glimpse of what's going on. Mutas have arrived. They catch a Stalker. Stalker goes down. No shield battery in the main. Oh, no shield battery. We focus out the cannon. We focus out the Stalkers. The mutas, they're getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Only 2 Stalkers left. Down to 1. Down to 0. Every Stalker does go down. And now down go the probes. 12 probe kills already. Another Stalker as well. Zealots, they drop into the main. Remember, we did miss that Prism. We get a couple of Archon shots going off. But the Zealots, you only get 1 drone kill. Mutas, they snipe the Phoenix. Stargate is doing what it can. But this is already good damage from Solar. Does get a good amount of workers, the Stalkers, the cannons. Zealot drop comes back in, and mutas, they refuse to turn around. Well, they do actually. Oh my god! They run into the Archons. You run into the Archons. Nice volleys here from Showtime, but Solar's maxed out. At this point, he's maxed out. Showtime's still building up Archons and Immortals. Building up a death ball of an army. But Solar is maxed, and he's moving out. Once again, taking another Archon volley to the face, but distracts the Archons. He does keep them busy. And Solar, he's going for the 3rd base. Army's in position. It's Shuzzling Roach. Not the most ideal army here from Solar. Does distract, getting 4 more probes. And Solar's main army isn't really achieving too much, but the mutas able to pick off some more probes. Solar rotating over towards the right-hand side. He can deny the top right base. Not just the base, also catching the Zealot run by. Zealots are going down. The Nexus is cancelled. Oh, we hit the mineral line. Probe does fall. Now the question becomes, what is Solar's main army going to consist of? Typically from this moment, we would work towards a Hydra Den and like a Lurker Den. But it looks like we're sticking with Lingbane Roach Ravager for the time being. We haven't teched in any other major direction. Not yet. Oh god, we're just doubling down on mutas. That's a lot of mutas! Oh my god! Suddenly mass muta. We do reveal ourselves. We catch out at some of the Phoenixes. We don't yet collapse on those Archons. Oh! Ooh. Another big volley goes off. Lings, they threaten the right-hand side. The Mortals are moving out, and the mutas, they can come in from behind. We try to collapse on this army. Instead, going for the Archons. Finally, one Archon goes down. This still feels on the knife's edge here, just because of the Archon counts of Showtime. Like, he has so many Archons, and if he moves out across the map, he has the potential to A-move. He does have the potential. Like, with this many Archons, like, how do the mutas engage? Like, how do they push in? We've got, like, 10 Archons. But instead, Showtime, he doesn't move out. He's stuck defending. He's stuck trying to keep up, and he's struggling to keep up. Stargate goes down. Yeah, we're just one step behind these mutas. Chasing them back in the main. I do think there is pushing potential for Showtime, don't get me wrong, but he's not pushing is the problem. We're still trying to keep up. And what I'm getting at, if Showtime were to move out across the map, it'd be an all-in, right? It'd be like essentially a base trade. Potentially, Showtime doesn't want to engage in a base trade against all these mutas, which is understandable. Storm's going to be thrown down. Not a bad storm on the mutas. Overcharge is popped. Ooh, we shut down the Lings. We shut down the Roaches. The mutas, they take a lot of hits. And we're still waiting for the moment for Showtime to counterattack. So far, 35 mutas have gone down. The Phoenix count getting quite healthy. Phoenix count is looking healthy here. Mutas, they deny the 5th. Solar taking more expansions, has a better economy. 11 more mutas on the way. And we still have yet to commit here. Showtime moving out with some of his army, just really teasing a push. Not committing. Giving himself some breathing room, morphing in more Archons. But the Lings, they slip into the mineral line. They do collapse in. Phoenix is going to be cutting back. We focus down 3 Archons. Massive pick off here for Solar. Gets 3 Archons and Immortal. And pushes into the main. Yeah, the mutas, they trade well here. Oof. Barely escaping. Still relying on mass muta. The Archon count is a little bit lower now. And as the Archon count goes down, then we can't move out. And mutas, they just keep dancing in between the bases. They catch High Templar as well. Massive storm. Oh my god! Insane storms. We catch out a good chunk of the mutas. Now we have a fleet beacon on the way. That's going to be for Phoenix range. Second Stargate as well. So far, Solar is getting away with quite a lot here. Picking off more Phoenixes. And for the past, like, 5 minutes, Showtime has been trying to expand. Like, just to put things into context here, Showtime has been stuck on 4 bases for the past 5 minutes, and he does need another base here. Considering that Solar has map control. His mining has been efficient. There we go, another base on the way. Can we get it up and running? Oh, we're going for the main army. Only 3 Archons. Yeah, we smell weakness. We collapse on the Archons. 2, 3 Archons going to be going down. Massive pickoffs. And the mutas, they're reigning supreme. Ay. At one point, we had 10 Archons. Now we're down to 3. Over time, we've just been picking away at them. And this mass muta army here of Solar, it is working out. Now a moment of desperation. Finally, Showtime pushes, but I'm not sure if this is the time. Not anymore. Muta's going to be racing back home. Relying here on Ling Muta. Nice control with the Phoenixes. We keep up. Oh! Spoke too soon. One Phoenix goes down. Showtime pushing deep onto creep with only 2 Archons. We'll take down a base. But we are vulnerable to the Mutas. Speaking of Mutas, they collapse in. Archon is going to go down. We have 2 Archons on the back line. And is the Mass Muta going to be enough? So far, good magic boxing. Oh, some of the Mutas, they bunch up. Mutas do bunch up. Mutas are finally going down. Whew. With 2 Archons, we do shut them down. GG gets caught. Showtime, he breaks through. And Showtime takes game number 1 and the series for Basilisk. GG. GG, well played. And here we go, we're jumping into our next game, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have Solar of Team Vitality. In the bottom left we have Showtime for Basilisk. Whew. Here we go. Now Solar is going to be fighting to redeem himself to get a better map score here in the standings. Is very important, as we're kind of running out of rounds. We're running out of weeks. As a reminder, the round robin group stage, it lasts 11 rounds. 11 rounds in the group stage, and we're here at the end of round 9. So 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks of group stage. So every map win does count to make sure you have the best standing possible leading into the playoffs. For those that are curious as to how the playoffs work, how the standings work, basically, if you are the number 1 seed in the group stage, you're seeded into the finals. Like, it's crazy. You have a massive advantage. If you're the 2nd place seed, you're seeded into the semifinals. If you're 3rd place, quarterfinals. You know, it's a basically a single elimination bracket, and the higher your standing, the higher your seed, the less matches you have to play, as you're already slotted in to further along in the playoff bracket itself. So standings is actually really crucial in WTL. The players and teams have spoken about it before, about how important every single series is in the playoff stage. Sorry, in the group stage for the playoffs. So we'll see if a Solar can bounce back. For now, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener. Standard opener here out of Solar. Likewise, Showtime going for a gate expand. Gate expand. What's with the gun show tonight? I'm telling you, Papi. They're flexing on each other, Papi. Let's go. Are selling in. For now, we have our tech of choice, Showtime going for a Stargate opener. When it comes to the map here, when it comes to post-youth, we spoke about some of the advantages that you have going Muta on Amphion, less so here on post-youth. Post-youth is more wide open. It is harder to dip in between the bases and skirt around the edge of the map and make use of the Mutas, so we should be seeing a very different dynamic, very different kind of game state. Likewise, a little gold bases to take advantage of. A lot of gold bases here to rush into. As Adept does shading, gets 1 drone kill so far. Up! Oh, getting 2 drones. Nicely done. 2 workers go down for 1 Adept. Nice trade here for Showtime. Behind this, going to be expanding, taking a 3rd. Pulling back. And settling into our just 3-base setup. We have Triple Oracle into 3rd Nexus. Last game we saw Showtime did embrace Chargelot Archon. We'll see if he does that again or if he goes into +1 Blink. We'll see what we embrace. Keep an eye on that Twilight Council. as Lings do threaten to dive. Adepts are in position. There's the Forge, there's the Twilight Council +1, and our upgrade of choice. After going charge in game 1, I'm leaning towards Blink in game 2, but we'll keep an eye on Showtime. Meanwhile, Solar joining up. Keeping up with the Oracles. We saw last game that the Oracles, they popped off in the early game with their stasis traps. Getting a decent amount of drone kills and catching a lot of workers with those stasis. So Solar does need to tighten up his defense here against these Oracles. So do dip in. 2 drones go down. 2 Oracles do one-shot workers. So not a bad pick-off there from Showtime. Lings, likewise, they catch some reinforcements. They catch some transferring workers, I should say. Getting a probe. Let's get a worker kill, and then we have our upgrade of choice. This time it is going to be pulse out and blink, so something more standard here from Showtime. Getting into blink stalkers. A much more mobile and an assertive start from Showtime. Getting 4 more drones. It is adding up over time. Gets 4 more drone kills. Now, a big reason why I'm sure Solar did pick Post Youth, not just the goal base that Solar is getting into as his 4th, but also how open the map is as well. It is quite open, there's a lot of attack paths. And as a Protoss player, pushing on this map can be quite difficult, as you are prone to getting surrounded. Showtime, he is working towards +1 and Blink, but we very quickly do take into a Templar Archives. Okay. So we're working towards Archons and Storm. Is on the horizon. I mean, we can go one of 2 ways with Blink, right? It's either Blink into Colossus or Blink into Storm. And it looks like Storm is going to be the case here for Showtime. As the Oracle does dip in. 3 more drones going down. The Oracle does survive. And with the Revelation, I believe we also have eyes on the tech of choice. If Station has been thrown down, 11 drone kills in total so far. And there it is, Storm is being prioritized. Storm is on the way. Can be very effective, especially against Ling Bane, or Ling Bane Hydra. And we'll see if that is what Solar does embrace. For now, just Roach Ravager moving out. Ling Roach Ravager. Map control, Showtime taking more defensive stance. Oracles, they dip back in. Once again, getting another 4 drones. 15 in total. 15 drones do go down. Showtime is going to take another base. He's working towards a 4th. But Solar is moving out. Going for... Okay, that I was not expecting. I was waiting for the Hive tech, but no, we're getting into getting into Swarm Host. Okay. Okay. Let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. Swarm Host on the way of all things. I mean, Swarm Host can be quite effective, especially when it comes to laying siege upon either the 4th base or even the main. We'll see if Showtime gets a read on what's going on. The High Templar, no! Oh, the High Templar, they get called out. 4 High Templar go down. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. You know what that means? That means no more Storm. Storm is not ready. Showtime just caught out of position at the wrong moment, at the wrong time. Not like this. Swarm hosts are amassing. We did at least save 2 of the High Templar. We morphed into an Archon. These High Templar, they just morphed in. They're fresh. Not a lot of energy. Not a lot of setup. We need time. We need more time, Papi. Here we go. Solar does lay siege upon the gold. Stormhost pushing forward as well. Here comes that Locust Wave. And it looks like we might barely have a Storm. We do. Storm does connect in time. Takes down the Locust Wave. And the Roaches have to back off. Again, Storm finishing up just in time. And now Solar's a little bit more vulnerable here, waiting for that Locust Wave to recharge. Waiting for it to reset. is pushing in, catching an Archon. Archon goes down. And the Stormers are getting ready. We force out a Storm. That is one less Storm for the Locusts. As Soul is just distracting the main army. And the heights. Oh, no, the Stasis! Stasis goes off. Very nice catch. Another Storm of the Roaches. We have a half a Locust Wave coming in. And we're actually going for the main. We're going for the main base instead. Going for the cannon. Cannon's going to be going down. We have static defense though. Another Storm of the Roaches. Roaches, they can tank some storms, but that's been a lot of storms. Showtime is barely holding on. Just barely. But the stasis has run out. Another Locust Wave coming in. We clean up the mineral line. We're getting on top of the Stalkers. These are expensive losses here for Showtime. And behind this Solar, he's taking up. We have a Hive on the way. A Hydra Den as well. Looks like Solar, he's getting ready for Lurker Tech. He's getting ready for that. Looks like he recognizes that he might not be able to kill Showtime here and now. Meanwhile, the Queens, they overextend. 3 Queens get caught out, but we get the base. The base does fall, and that is all that Solar wanted. He contains Showtime to 3 bases, to 3 Nexus. And the Stormhost, they come back. Not again! Once again, another Stasis goes off. We catch the Stormhost. Meanwhile, can Solar break through? Trading with the army. Locust coming in. Solar, I don't think he really intends to break Showtime here and now, but he's just trading. Just out trading Showtime, keeping him contained on 3 bases. Creep is spreading as well. And there's that Lurker Den. The Lurker Den is now on the way. So as Solar bleeds out Roaches, he should be replacing them with Hydras. So you can see there are 13 Hydras in production. We're getting ready for the Lunkers. Getting ready. Solar rotating over. Oh, not again. Not again! Oh my! The 3rd Stasis! how does it keep happening? What's going on? May Showtime. The Stasis placement has been on point. While it's going to be connecting, the main army is still pushing forward, but pushing into storms not easy. Locust Wave into the main. Oh, and we're getting to the mineral line. Probes are going down. Locust getting a decent amount done. Getting 5 probes. Nice punish though. With that blink, we do catch some of the Hydras. Likewise, Roaches and Ravagers as well. Yeah, very nice control here by Showtime. Does force back the army, cleans up the creep, and now we're pushing out. Showtime has a comparable army here to Solar. And Solar's in a bit of trouble here. Locust Wave is coming in. Do we have a Storm? We do. Yeah, Storm does connect Locust Wave. It just melts. Does what? We barely save the High Templar. We're pushing forward. Thank you for the raid. We're in the middle of the game. As we are pushing forward, the base is going to be going down. Yeah, the gold is forfeit, but we have Lunkers. We have Lunkers on the high ground. Oh my god, massive blink. The blink is punished though. Yeah, we blink into Lurker range. Showtime was unaware. Revelation does get on top of those Lurkers. We're going to be pulling back, rotating around. Showtime has to calm down. He's retaking the gold. But Solar, he's all over this. Gets eyes on the gold base, forces back the Protoss army. And we force a cancel. Solid cancel here on the Nexus. Meanwhile, Solar, throughout all of this, remember, as he's been bleeding out Roaches, Lurkers. Lurkers are morphing in as we speak. 7 Lurkers just now finishing up. Showtime had momentum, but was forced back. Will deny the gold. Lurkers have arrived. Showtime pushing on the right-hand side, forcing a reaction out of Solar. Does force back the Stormhost. Spinals popping off. To force the defensive Locust Wave. But remember, throughout all of this, Showtime, he's fighting for his 4th. He's been contained on 3 bases the entire game. And he needs a 4th. He's running out of money. Running out of mining. We need a fresh base. Solar, he's edging his way ever closer towards that Nexus. Nexus under fire. Showtime, he avoids the main army. He's pushing on the right and left-hand side. He knows he cannot push into those Lurkers. Not anymore. And we're going for a base trade? Does Solar turn around? He does. Yeah, Solar, he Lays siege upon the gold, denies it, comes back home. Oh, massive spine shots going off. We do bleed out 10 drones, but Solar holds. Solar holds, and he's going to knock down that base. The Nexus, it's going to fall, and Showtime just cannot get a fourth. Just cannot get a fourth base. Not in this game. It's being denied over and over again. Showtime forced to expand on the right-hand side. Still being active towards the left. The lurkers are spotted, which means Showtime, he can sneak up on that base. He pushes in. Solar out of position. The hatchery goes down. Not a bad pickoff. Remember, Showtime does have a recall. And does he go into the main? Does he just send it? Stasis traps are on the way. Nice storm here on the ramp. Storms are solid. Lurkers pushing in. Once again being zoned away, though. And we do catch out 4 lurkers. Nice pickoff. No detection! No! No observer. No detection with the main army. And meanwhile, across the map, once again, the 4th base is denied. We do get the revelation, thankfully. Revelation on the lurker. Sword versus Lurker's Way pushing in. Catching another Archon. And Showtime does find his way towards the gold. Not bad. I mean, this move out by Showtime killed the base, got drones, traded well with the lurkers. Very nice movement here. Once again, another massive storm. Oh my god. The storms are insane. Lurkers are melting. That was, what, 3 or 4 lurkers going down. But it cost us every single High Templar. Was that worth it? Was that worth it? We have the Lurkers Wave coming in from behind. We're going for the surround. Yeah, Showtime, he's committed. And we dive on the army. We do blink away, though. Stormers are exposed. They're getting picked off. That Locust Wave was a little bit lackluster. We do manage to somehow slip away. And now we have 3 base versus 3 base. Both players, they barely have an economy. Barely any workers. The gold base is going to go down. Neither player can take a 4th. Solar and Showtime, they're stuck on 3 bases. Sub 50 workers apiece here. But we have Storm Hosts. We can gain value over time. Again, every High Templar, every Immortal that goes down is value here for Solar. If he's trading with the Storm Hosts, I mean. Once again, Ling Realmite denies the 4th. Showtime's still contained. And what I want to know, how many lurkers are left? We had a lot of lurkers going down earlier. I think we have like 4. Not many. Uh-oh. Yeah, I do worry here for Solar. A lot of his supply is tied up in Swarmhost, which means whenever there's not a Locust Wave, he is vulnerable. So there is potential here for Showtime. Locust Wave is baited out. We have soon to be 5 lurkers. There's more than one morphing in. Now getting it back up to 7. 7 lurkers here for Solar. As you can see, the unit tab. Locust Wave forcing back the army. Army is being forced back. Showtime forced to take a bit of an awkward 4th base, but it's on the way. Is spotted. Swarm hosts are on cooldown. The swarm hosts are not ready. Uh-oh. We go for a split push. We have Zelt on one end. The main army on the other. Showtime is pushing in. And we catch out the lurkers. Yeah, a lot of lurkers go down there. The base as well. The 4th is denied. Both players are starving. both Solar and Showtime. They just want a base, papi. They just want a hatchery, a Nexus. We cancel the 4th again. Showtime desperately long distance mining. He desperately needs some money here, some resources. Do not have an observer. Creep is being cleared up. We are clearing up creep. I do want to say that Showtime's army is going to outscale Solar. Like, we have some Swarmhosts, but not many. Sorry, some lurkers, but not many. And not much support either. But still a very tense situation here. Showtime rotating over towards the right-hand side. Meanwhile, Solar rotating over towards the left. Locust Wave coming in, going for the Nexus. Archons are in position. We save it. We defend. Yeah, Solar, you can see he wasn't aware of where the base was taken. So this Locust Wave, half of it was wasted. Was sent in the wrong direction. So the base survives. The Nexus. Is it going to finish? Do we finally expand? Likewise, Solar also taking a base. Taking a fourth. Can we finally get a fourth base up and running? It's been 20 minutes. Oh my god. Stormers coming in. They're ready. The High Templar a bit exposed. We're going for the Nexus. Going for the base. Get a decent storm. And can we actually get the base though? The Archons are ready for this. One Archon goes down, but we save the Nexus. Showtime, he has mining. Uh-oh. Does have mining. Solar, he's up against the wall. Likewise, Solar also gets a base up and running, but it's a regular base as opposed to the gold of Showtime. Both players have expanded. It's very tense here between Showtime and Solar. Trading energy for energy, essentially. Locust Wave gets caught out. It does get into the mineral line, but it's going to be cleaned up. And as we settle in, as we have a little bit of a moment to breathe here, a shout out to Baby Links. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I apologize for not giving you a shout out earlier, but we were in the middle of a very, very tense fight. We catch the Swarmers. No! The Swarmers! They get caught out. 3, almost 4 of them going down. But thank you so much for the raid. Hope the ladder was good and the smudge was minimal. Likewise, a shout out as well to a donation in the chat to Freak9. Thank you so much for the $20. Thanks so much for the grind. Appreciate the daily SE2 content. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And now we're popping off. The 5th base is going to be denied. We did catch some Storm Hosts. We did catch them. Link's getting caught out as well. At the same time, those Storm Hosts, the Locust Wave comes in from behind. And can we get the base? Barely not. Barely the Nexus does survive. Both players are building up. The lurker count of Solar has been slowly accumulating. I think we have like 15. Like we have a decent lurker count now. That's a solid amount of lurkers. Likewise, though, Showtime with the solid immortal count as well. As we have a field of lurkers at the 4th base. Now, if Showtime can take another expansion, if he can take this 5th, then technically we could afford a fleet beacon. And we can try to go into Sky Toss. For now, we don't really have the economy for a tech switch. Like, switching into Sky Toss is quite expensive, and we need an economy, and we barely have one. So we're stuck with what we have. But if we can stabilize, we can tech. Oh, 31! I said 15 earlier. 31 lurkers! That's crazy! 31 lurkers, Papi. Oh my god. And Solar, he's maxed out. He's maxed out with almost pure Lurker Swarm Host. Locust Wave comes in. We save the base. But I'm ready. I'm ready for the Lunkers. I'm ready for the mass burrow. For now, we're splitting up. I guess it's like 15 either side. If we have 30. So 15 on one end, 15 on the other. Solar, he does hold the line. Never enough smoke, dog. Not like this. As we do have a moment to breathe here, both armies going to be clashing on both sides. Showtime keeping up with the run-bys. Swarmers once again getting caught out. We get 1, we get 3, 3. Oh. Two Swarmers go down. We force out the Locust Wave. Once again, headed for the Nexus. Nexus is getting low. And can we snipe it? We cannot. We get an Immortal. We do pick up an Immortal. Nexus does survive. Spine shots going up. Showtime getting caught out. Storms are going to be going up. And Lurkers are going down. They barely don't get on top of the High Templar. Better trade here for Showtime. Takes down 4 or 5 Lurkers. But does have to get the hell out of here. Like, we're overstaying our welcome a little bit. Hydra's do bully back the army. It's getting very low. Showtime may be forced to recall as we do snipe the Nexus. Gold base goes down. And Solo is making his way towards the final mining base of Showtime. And Showtime is getting caught out. He's being cornered. We go for the recall, but too little too late. We bleed out High Templar and an Immortal. And Showtime is going for a base trade. He's going for a massive counterattack. We'll take down the hatchery, but can he ever deal with the mass lurker? Can he ever deal with the main army of Solar? As the hatchery goes down, but Solar doesn't care. He goes for a counterattack instead. It does run into some reinforcements, though. Showtime pushing in. And Solar, okay, he comes back home. He cares. Solar, he does care. Comes back home. Keeping up with the movement. Trying to keep up with the main army. Showtime dipping back in. And you can see Solar setting up the surround. He's coming in from behind. And Showtime, he's getting caught out. Yeah, barely cannot escape this. We go for the mass burrow. Massive shots go off. We catch the entire army. The surround is real. GG gets called. And Solar, after a very intense back and forth game number 2, will tie it up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. That was a wild game, by the way. That was crazy. Back and forth. Low eco, low economy. No fourth bases for Solo for 20 minutes. It took like 23 minutes to get a fourth. Like, to stably get a fourth base. Very intense there. In the end, honestly, the Stormhosts, if you remember, they started off a little bit lackluster. They were being caught out by the stasis traps, so they were being shut down. But in the end, they did pay off over time. Like, we gained so much value despite being on such a low economy. We saw lurker after lurker falling, but the Stormhost count, for the most part, was staying stable. It was a stable Stormhost count, and we were able to pick off bases, able to pick off Immortals here and there, Archons here and there, that did really carry Solar and allow him to survive and get into a longer game and stabilize eventually. GG, well played. Showtime was holding his own as well. There were also moments for him, but alas, was really struggling to stabilize his own economy and build up as well. Was unable to be as efficient as Solo was, and congratulations. Congratulations here to Basilisk, as even though we tied the series 1-1, Basilisk will claim it in the end. You can see here, Maru and Raynor were tied up 1-1. Serral took the 2-0 over Ryung, and Showtime and Solar likewise 1-1 as well. So, thanks to Serral's 2-0 score, Basilisk will take the win. Basilisk, they get the 4-2, and they claim victory here over Team Vitality. That is the second loss in a row for Team Vitality. They're still on the top of the standings, but they are stumbling a little bit here towards the tail end of the round-robin group stages. We can take a look at the standings. Let's zoom in. The standings are revealed. Vitality still number 1, Basilisk just behind them as number 2, followed by Weibo Gaming, Shopify Rebellion, Team Liquid, Psystorm Na'Vi as the top 6. And then we have the second half here. We have Platinum R8, Mystery All Gamers, Twisted Fairy, Starlight Twinkle, Berserker Esports, and Offside Esports. Oh boy. As a reminder, content going to be available to you here as always. Tomorrow is going to be Kung Fu Cup. If you're curious, the hell is Kung Fu Cup? KFC? KFC. Kung Fu Cup is a seasonal weekly tournament. It is partnered and it is a part of the WTL circuit. It gives you WTL points, just like World Team League, and it is an open bracket. It's an open single elimination bracket. The best of the best face off in Korea and Europe. They all come together to face off here in Kung Fu Cup. On top of that, we're going to have some NA representation as well. Usually, Kung Fu Cup is at a really bad time for NA. So I do apologize for the NA viewers out there, but it starts now, essentially. So at this time slot, at this time exactly, tomorrow is going to be Kung Fu Cup. This time tomorrow. Not the best time in NA, not the best time in Latin America, but a lot of the NA boys are traveling. For those who maybe weren't here last week when it was revealed, we have Estrella, Future, and Trigger. Estrella, Future, and Trigger, those 3 players are currently living in Korea, which means, because of the time zone, they can actually play in Kung Fu Cup without ruining their sleep schedule. It's beautiful, baby. It's beautiful. So Future, Estrella, and Trigger, they have been competing every single ESL weekly so far, ESL Asia, KSL, and Kung Fu Cup as well, ever since they got to Korea. And it's not just them, Clem is there as well. So Clem is also staying with them. They're all boot camping together. They're all practicing, training, and improving, getting ready for the Esports World Cup. And that means we get to see more of them in these Korean tournaments. Really cool to see. Really cool to hear. Ah, it's beautiful. Carrier the largest is on. Oh, let's go. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up in the chat. Vitality might even miss out on the finals in worst case scenario. Could happen. Could happen. Could happen here. Templars could use the tour guide because they keep wandering into the wrong neighborhood. Oh, no. True. Did happen a couple too many times. Couple too many. But yeah, so look forward to Kung Fu Cup tomorrow. Again, it's going to have the best players from all around the world competing in an online weekly tournament. After Kung Fu Cup, of course, is going to be a restream or a replay stream of Duckling Open on Thursday, and then WTL, and then the weekend. So with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to help support us, you can follow us over on the social medias. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings in the chat if you're interested in that sort of thing. Otherwise, you can also follow us, or you can also support us via donating, subscribing, Patreon. You know, there are other ways to support us if you wish. Otherwise, a follow is all we ask. Our VODs are available on YouTube immediately. We have VODs on YouTube. We have VODs on Twitch. We're also live streaming on YouTube as well. And yeah, we're live every single day. Every single day. Plenty of content. So consider following. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for KFC, for Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup. Meanwhile, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to raid and someone to send everyone over to, so give them a chance, give them some support. If you want another tournament, I believe Wardy is hosting his own event. I believe Wardy is hosting, I think, like the Wardy TV Invitational or something along those lines. I think he has an event going on, so we have some tournament costs going on there. It's the Wardy TV Summer Bash. There you go. There you go. Summer Bash is currently ongoing, so you can check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.